On August 22nd, which is a Friday, there is a new moon in Virgo that is going to be a sort of a prelude to some events happening coming up in September, namely eclipse season. There is one particular aspect of this entire alignment that I wanted to talk about that correlates not just with this particular time of year, but I think it's a recurring theme in human life that is important to talk about. Namely, expansion and growth and evolution sometimes in life comes at a price. And growth and evolution doesn't always feel very pleasant. Even if you have as one of your ideals to grow and evolve, you know that that can come at a price, and being prepared for what that price might look like or be, or how expensive this could be, I think it can really help us in keeping things into perspective. So Friday, August 22nd, new moon in Virgo, which is very close to the nodes, but not close enough to be called an eclipse. However, the next upcoming lunation, which is a full moon, will be a lunar eclipse. And this means that there are certain events that are probably already unfolding in your life that have something to do with expansion. I say it has to do with expansion is because Jupiter has been firmly going through Cancer, where it's exalted. And this can oftentimes look like a certain kind of push to grow in some area of our lives. Jupiter rules two houses in your chart. That means there's at least two areas of your life that are undergoing this push for expansion. And Mars in Libra is a different story. Mars is actually in detriment in Libra. And Mars also rules two other houses in your chart, which is to say there's two other areas of your life that will be somehow impacted by this expansion. So, what can this potentially look like? There's many variations that this will take shape for all of us, but there's three things that I wanted to focus on when we're talking about expansion. What can expansion really look like or feel like? One way in which an expansion can show up is we can start seeing things falling apart in our life. In order for us to build something new that has room for growth, that sometimes might mean that something else needs to be torn down. And this almost never feels good. I mean, yes, it can be cathartic to demolish a room or a wall in your house, but this is not always the case when we are talking about intricate things like possibly relationships, careers, jobs, many different things that we might have been attached to. Maybe it's something that we thought is going to be taking a certain shape. It's no longer going to take that shape. So Jupiter's growth, or we can just say growth in life period, can sometimes look like things falling apart. And it's good to keep that in mind so that we're prepared. The second way in which expansion can happen that can potentially be accompanied by negative feelings is we might be called up on a stage. And I use that very loosely. Being called up on a stage might not be a literal stage, but we might be called in to play a certain role in our lives. We might need to step up as parents. We might need to step up as siblings. We might step up as friends, partners in life, and take on a certain role that is new to us. And keep in mind that every time we're doing something that's new to us means that we will be experiencing, our senses will be opening up to new stimulations, to new stimuli. And that can also feel scary because our propensity is to basically be safe, in which is to say, to know our surroundings and to know what we have coming at us at any given time. But when you are called on a stage and you are seeing life with a different perspective, this can be sometimes a very threatening kind of feeling, even if you willed yourself to get on that stage and it's something that you wanted to do. This expansion can feel very overwhelming in many ways. And the third ways in which expansion can really sometimes not feel great is there can be a feeling of loss, sense of loss, sadness. Yes, this can be sometimes literal loss of something. Um, but basically, when we are growing into a new stage, especially we're not always growing in a linear way. I personally don't know that many humans that have gone through exact stages and have known the ways in which they would progress in life. If you're one of them, I think that's wonderful, but that's usually not the case in my experience. So it means that sometimes we have to abandon certain plans, certain visions, certain ideas, and this can come with a huge sense of deep loss. The important thing I wanted to say is that this particular expansion, this kind of a story, is probably building up in your life right now and is going to, in some way, culminate in the weeks leading up to the full moon eclipse, which is on September 7th. On September 7th, this square between Jupiter and Mars will already be separating, so things will be easing off. But more than likely, I think most of us will probably be, uh, I hope, pleasantly surprised by some changes coming up in September. Eclipses are often a plot twist in the story of our lives, and we get these eclipse seasons twice a year. So, this is my way of coming here to share my thoughts and experiences. So, I hope it serves you well, and I wish you a wonderful eclipse season.